Well, welcome back to day 2 of the SNF QRP provider training. Again, we're very excited to have you join us for this important event. Most of today will focus on the patient-driven payment model, although we will have a presentation on sections A, I, O, and J just prior to that. So hopefully all of your questions will be answered by the end of the day. Just a couple housekeeping slides in case there are a few people who joined us today who weren't here yesterday. Restrooms for those who are joining in person are located out these doors, and then if you go immediately to the right, go to the end of the hall, the end of the walkway, and then turn right again. You'll find the restrooms there. Those of us who are wearing yellow shirts, we're here to help you, or anybody in yellow. Well, anybody who's not one. Well, most people who are wearing yellow shirts and or a yellow dress are here to help you. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask us. We're here to make your experience as positive as possible. Additionally, I did want to mention that for those who need to connect to the Wi-Fi, again, the network is the Sheridan Meeting, and the passcode is QRP, all caps, 2019. And now we are going to go into a quick kind of refresher. Again, we have about 300 people who registered for the training here in person, and another almost 2,000 people who potentially are joining us online for different portions of this training. Again, as I mentioned, the primary focus today is on the patient-driven payment model after we talk about the changes to the MDS sections A, I, J, and O. For the people who are here in person, all of the supporting documents to support today's training are on the right-hand side of your packets. And again, I think it starts with item number 13. Well, let me double check the number. Yeah. Handout number 13. So we'll be using handouts 13, 14, and 15 today. Additionally, you have a couple tabletop items that we placed on the tables yesterday. One is called the PDM Fact Sheet SNF Classification Walkthrough, and the other is the Integrated Coding and PDPM Case Study HIPS Information Sheet. Those documents are meant for sharing. A couple people may have inadvertently taken them with them yesterday. If you could pull those out and share them with your neighbors, that would be really helpful, but there is at least one of those on every table. Additionally, for those who are joining online, all of the materials to support today's training can be found in the folder under the Downloads section on the SNF QRP training page, labeled May 2019 SNF QRP Provider Training, Day 2. And that will have 3 subfolders in it, one for each presentation. And the additional handouts that I was talking about in terms of the packets are all located under, they are all located in the folder, subfolder 11, Integrated Coding and PDPM Case Study subfolder under that main folder for Day 2. So hopefully there are no questions about that. I now have the pleasure of introducing today's presenters. Again, we had Terry Mata join us yesterday. She is going to be rejoining us today and presenting on sections A, I, O, and J. Terry is a BSN and is an associate scientist and nurse researcher at Apt Associates. She has over 25 years experience in geriatric nursing in the long-term care setting. Earlier in her career, Terry worked as a CNA, floor nurse, MDS coordinator, clinical liaison, and in subacute care. She was also instrumental in implementing the MDS 3.0 and assisted in the development of the MDS 3.0 trainings and manned both the MDS 2.0 and 3.0 help desks. Just prior to coming to Apt, Terry worked for CMS as part of the Impact Act implementation team, where she served as a post-acute care subject matter expert in quality measurement and standardized data assessment development, guidance manual development, data standardization, rule writing across post-acute care settings, and helped to stand up the SNF QRP. We also have joining us today John Kane, and John is a technical advisor and the SNF payment team lead in the Division of Institutional Post-Acute Care at CMS. He leads the SNF payment team in evaluating and developing SNF payment policy, including development and implementation of the patient-driven payment model. John also works on different cross-component projects within CMS, intersecting different areas of the Medicare payment policy. Joining John to present on the integrated coding PDPM case study is Penny Gershman. Penny is a health insurance specialist in the Division of Institutional Post-Acute Care at CMS. She works on payment policy and was part of the team that created the patient-driven payment model. She is also a member of the cross-agency minimum data set team, and prior to working at CMS, Penny, a speech-language pathologist, was working with geriatric patients, primarily in the SNF and home health settings. She is glad that she can use her clinical experience to inform the policy work she does at CMS. And again, the bios of all of the presenters are in your packets or in your materials that were available online. So now we're going to, we did have a few acronyms we used in this presentation, so as in other presentations, the acronyms are listed there for your review. But I think by now you're all very familiar with these acronyms. So just as a point of general information, again, I'll just reiterate what I mentioned yesterday. All of the training materials with answers will be posted to the SNF Quality Reporting Program training website or web page. Shortly after the training, we will send you an email when those materials are posted, so you don't have to constantly keep checking. They'll also come out with a spotlight and training announcement if any of you monitor for those. Additionally, video recordings of the presentations will be posted on the CMS YouTube site. Generally, they come out at the same time as the presentations do, so you will receive an email whether they come out separately or together, and letting you know when those video recordings are available. And then regarding certificates of completion, we will email those to you. So those who are participating in person, you don't have to do anything else. We have, you've signed in, you're participating. We'll send you an email, a certificate of completion via email. For those who would like a certificate of completion who are participating online, as I mentioned yesterday, we basically have 3 guidelines that we need you to work with us toward. One is you need to create a profile in Slido, which I'll go over again shortly. And that lets us know who you are. Basically, you're just providing us with your name and your email address and your organization. Even if you didn't register for the training, you're watching as a group, you can still receive a certificate of completion as long as you follow these steps. Secondly, you need to have answered over the course of the 2 days 80% of the Slido questions that were posted, that we're bringing up, and that helps us know that you've stayed engaged throughout the entire training. And then the third and important step will be at the end of today, we'll do a training evaluation. And one of the questions on that training evaluation is, do you want a certificate of completion? And you have to answer yes to that question if you want one and you're participating online. If you would like a certificate of completion and you're in the room, you don't need to respond to that question. So hopefully that's really clear. And with that, we're going to go through the Slido again just to make sure everybody's on board. So again, if you will all bring out your phone or your laptop, or if you're online, go on your desktop. If you'll open up your browser and go to www.slido.com. And when you get to the login page, you shouldn't have to do this again, but you may have to, you type in Econometrica. You may also see that you can just click on the link to the session today. But if you are prompted, type in Econometrica, at the login, and then you should be into the event. So we're going to practice a couple polling questions. These don't count towards the 80% for the people who are participating online. We just want to get you all warmed up. So can I ask how many people in the room have successfully logged into Slido? Perfect. Okay, so we're going to do a couple polling questions, and there were a couple people here who were here when we were practicing, so don't tell any of your neighbors the correct answers to any of these questions. But let's see what we know about Kansas City. So Kansas City claims to have more blank than Paris. Would it be more fountains, more cafes, more boulevards, or more statues? And I see we've got responses coming in. Give it a little more time. So far, fountains seems to be a popular answer. Okay. Well, I'm going to go to the answer slide. And the correct answer is boulevards. So, seems our hardest question was the first one yesterday and today. So, let's go to the next question. I know we're going to do a lot better on this one. So, Elm Farm Ollie was the first blank to do what? A, the first cow to fly in an airplane. B, the first Missouri journalist to be embedded with the Army. Ollie grew up on an elm farm. C, the first musician to perform on a Missouri riverboat. Or D, the first lumberjack to go door to door selling firewood. Okay, this might be a tough question too, but we'll give it a few more moments because I'm seeing that some people may be changing their minds. Just waiting till we get to about 400 responses. Obviously, this is causing a lot of people to think a lot. Okay. Let's see what the correct answer is. The correct answer is, as everyone thought, the first cow to fly in an airplane. Okay. One more question, and I'm not sure that I'm going to pronounce this, but the Chillicothe Baking Company was the first bakery to sell sliced bread. A, in the Midwest, B, in the United States, C, in the world, or D, in plastic bags. Okay. Obviously, today's questions have gotten tougher. Yes. All right. Popular is in plastic bags. So let's go ahead and see what the correct answer is. Oh, the correct answer is in the world. Okay. All right, now for the all-important, for those people who are online, again, this is where it's really important that you have your profile set up. Again, hopefully, if you're using the same device that you used yesterday to connect, you shouldn't have to set up a profile again, but we're going to go through it really quickly. So you see the little avatar that's circled in the upper right-hand circle, a little head on some shoulders. If you click on that, you'll get to the next screen on which you'll be able to enter your name, organization, and email address. And again, even if you're joining us in person, it is important for you to fill out this information so that if we have a question about a question that you've asked, we know how to get a hold of you for clarification. So really helpful to us if you would fill out that information. Then once you've filled out that information, you'll see if you go to the link that says questions, you can click on that and enter questions. And I think everybody was successfully doing that yesterday because we got lots of questions coming in that our presenters are already answering. So just a couple thoughts regarding questions. It's important that you wait until the presentation to ask questions because likely the presenters may already be providing information that would answer those questions. And you'll get faster responses to questions if we get if we're able to sort through the questions and look for those that are really of the most value to you. And the way we're going to assess that is really by your liking the questions. So this is where, if you have a question, please scroll through the questions that have already been asked. And if you see one that's similar or captures the sentiment of the question that you'd like to ask, please click like, and that way it'll be voted and it'll rise to the top for the presenters to answer. I think I saw one question yesterday that got 284 votes, or 48. That means we know that's a really important question to the people here in the audience, in person and online. If we see questions and we're seeing it has no additional likes, then that might be a question that would be better asked through the help desk or responded through by the help desk, because that might be something that's very specific to your situation or your facility. And the questions that we really want to address here are the ones that are of broad interest to the audience, and using Slido helps us to determine that. So any questions about that? Okay, I see that I am now out of time. Just a reminder to to please use your action plans to jot down ideas for how you can make this, operationalize the ideas that you learn here during the training today.